What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Palantir. I want to go over some of the data points, technicals, things that you need to know, some expectations, and where I see things going in the short term. So I'm going to go over all of that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So like I said on my last couple of videos, Palantir is one of those odd stocks that you actually can see debates about. Some people can't argue the fact that there is a huge amount of momentum, and justified. They're getting a lot of good deals, a lot of good agreements and things like that, which will result in more and more revenue. But at the same time, looking at the technicals, stocks don't typically go like this. So once again, you kind of are mixed, and this is exactly what I've been saying on my last couple of videos as well, that you can't argue with the momentum, but the technicals do show that it needs to pull back a little bit. And as far as some expectations, I'll go over all the things that you need to know. So expectations for this week, there's a couple data points coming out, one of which is on Tuesday, so CPI. So CPI very much linked to inflation. The month over month right now, the forecast is 0.4. The year over year, there isn't any forecast right now. So once again, just be aware of that. And as far as on Wednesday, the Feds are going to be making their interest rate decision. And both of these data points are going to very much dictate where the market does go, including Palantir and its momentum. But if these are positive, then Palantir should be able to kind of pull up a little bit higher and outbeat the market, similar to what's been happening. But of course, right here, looking at some of the data points that I like to look at, stochastic has pulled back a little bit. So this is exactly why I wanted to see. I wanted to see a little bit more of a consolidation period, because even if you do look here, so it went to 17 and then it kind of pulled back and then kind of had a little bit more volatility on Friday. But this could be perceived as a little bit of consolidation, not as much as I would like to see on a technical stance at least, but it is currently at 64, a little bit more of a bear sentiment right now. But when it comes down to it though, you can't argue with the actual momentum behind it. And I keep saying that no matter what, doesn't matter if it goes flat or anything, like you cannot argue with the huge amount of buying that's been happening. And you can even look at the momentum indicator. Number of retail investors have just been selling their dogs, children, their houses, and buying Palantir. So it's been kind of crazy in reality. But one thing that I have noticed on Friday is just big money was slowing down buying, or at least purchasing in that regard. So these are all the transactions on the secondary market. So this might be one justification why it wasn't green on Friday potentially. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. I do feel that if this does continue to trend up, especially though looking at options activity, kind of does signal that it is, because on Friday there was $29 million in call premiums that was purchased versus 12 million in put premiums. So a little bit more on the puts, because over the last little bit the options have been almost 80% for calls. So this one's a little bit more evenly, or at least puts are going up, but still at the end of the day, a lot of people are still anticipating that it is going to trend up. And if you look at this chart right here, this shows all the calls. So this is the strike prices, expiry dates. Based on this, which of course is just more of a sentiment, doesn't necessarily move the stock price, it is projecting around the between $16 to $17 in the coming weeks. So again, do your own due diligence. When it comes down to the Morningstar report though, it does have the fair market value at $9 for Palantir, and based on some analyst ratings through tip ranks, it does show over the last 6 days, 2 analysts gave ratings, one from Goldman Sachs, so Gabriella. They only do have a 49% success rating though, so take that with a grain of salt. And then there was Brent with Jefferies, who gave a $14 target, and he has a 42% success rating. Given the amount that's actually gone up, I do feel that if it actually maintains this price point for this upcoming week, you're going to see a lot more analysts to raise the rates, especially the ones that gave, for instance, sells. So through Tyler from Citi, 49% success rating, he's probably going to increase their rate, because it kind of makes them look like a fool in reality if they're going to maintain their $6 and $7 price targets. But still, like I said, there's different camps, if you want to call it that. Some people still do feel that Palantir is just undervalued, overvalued. A lot of people don't necessarily know exactly where it might be going. It's just all projections. And there was this that really came out, this analysis by Michael, and I kind of found this interesting. So it says Palantir, the rise of a recession resistant tech giant. So Let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you think Palantir is recession resistant? In his reasoning, it does say Palantir is recession resistant because its customer base is mostly large enterprises and the US government, which I completely do agree that as far as once Palantir does get ingrained in a company, it is very costly for the company to kind of move away from Palantir. So I do agree with his statement right here, but as far as being recession resistant, like I don't agree with that. For instance, if there is a 2008 possibly worse recession that does occur, a lot of companies will not be looking to Palantir for agreements because that's seen as a little bit more of a luxury during an expansionary stage of the economy. So yes, they might actually retain that actual customer base that they currently have, but they won't be getting new ones. So of course, which would result in the multiple going down and the stock going down. So it's kind of interesting to see about him. I don't know if he has a rating or anything like that I'm aware of, but still, let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you think it is recession resistant? But like I said, going over some other additional data points, I'll give you guys a quick overview of shorts and what they've been doing and everything like that. So short score is currently 47, utilization is 12.17%. And just to vaguely look here, you can kind of already tell because of the recent spike up, shorts have actually been getting in. So it previously was around 6% and now it is looking at 9% for the short interest. So kind of interesting in that regard. So 8.94% of the free floats being shorted. That works out to be 161.11 million shares overall being shorted. And based on Friday, shorts did increase 361.49 thousand shares. Cost to borrow is absolutely pennies. So in reality, I don't see Palantir ever being a mother of all short squeeze kind of scenarios, but it's interesting to see that shorts actually were increasing their position in Palantir over the last little bit. But of course, given the price, they have been losing pretty substantially. But when it comes down to some points to really watch for, with it being at 1502, the next big resistance and support point to watch for is 1233 and 1528. And based on Friday as well, it did actually get to a high of 1598. So it does have a lot of good momentum behind the scenes, but like I mentioned, I feel that Friday was only red merely because institutions weren't buying it versus any other day they typically were. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. If I was to give a price prediction as far as where I see things going for Palantir, I do feel that it is going to pull down to around the $14 range and then bounce off of that to possibly new highs. So at least, because like I mentioned about the whole consolidation, it did consolidate a little bit, but it needs to do that a little bit more. So this is where I feel around that $14 range is where it can consolidate to. And then, like I mentioned, from there, with the momentum that's being had behind Palantir and the whole AI sector, then a lot of good upside is most likely going to come. But like I said, these videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only. Sometimes my crystal ball isn't always on point. But once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, there is a killer promo with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account. You get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. And as you can see, deposit $100, you get 5 free stocks plus $100 cash reward. So this is the pure definition of free. So especially this day and age, there's not many free things out there. Take advantage of this promo. Link in the description below and also the comments. And with all that said, hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. And with that said, let's all make a lot of money on Palantir.